Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Well, I wanted to go over my buy recommendations. We had a lot of action in the market with, the straight opening over in Iran and a lot of kind of promises. And as far as a market technician looks at things, nothing has really changed. The trends that were bullish before are still bullish. And so I'm using this to take advantage. So what do I do when a security or index is up? I sell some, I sell on green, and when they're down, I add to them. So let's get into it. Some opportunity today. Okay, Antero resources. So I wanted to go over this. This is the chart as of yesterday. And so, we had this big run up in Antero resources. And here's where I bought back at 35 and sold up at 45. And then it corrected 10% in a couple of days. And I bought it back, unfortunately, too early. And it broke down to 36. And we had a bearish rainbow convergence coming together. It wasn't quite together yesterday. Um, so, but it started to rally. And what I would be on my update yesterday, I said, I would be selling some. Again, it's up. It was up 3% yesterday. If I had 100 shares, I'd sell 10. And then if it would have been up again today, I would have sold another 10. I would have sold more if it couldn't get through. I'd get out of it. And I would have came out with a video and I would have said, I'm going to a neutral rating. And this would have been the reason why. But instead, what we got today with the big sell-off in energy, it actually went down and hit a new low. So it ended up being a type 2 convergence, but it came down and hit a new low, and now we actually have a convergence. So now we get to see what's going on. So we are down 2.21% on the day. And what am I doing? I'm buying today because I sold some yesterday. I'm buying it back today, 2.5% lower, 2.2% lower, and might even add some more on top of that. And my goal here is to get this thing back up to about 38, 39 and make that, what is that, about 7% or so on the upside if that happens. And that would be a nice profit. And I would sell some if it couldn't get through. If it's able to break through in a couple days, then we're off to the races and our big pattern comes into play. And I will post it right above here, showing you the big pattern with a former video if you want to check that out. So I'm still on a buy rating here. I'm adding to that today. Union Pacific. So this was just initiated yesterday, and this was, or 2 days ago, and this was the chart. So we had a confluence of moving averages coming up. You got to remember there's a huge symmetrical triangle, like a 4-year consolidation that stocks broke out of up here. And then on the market sell off, it came back within that big structure, and now it's back above that structure, suggesting that that big pattern is intact and we could have a 30% advance in this. And I think I have it actually below here, so I'll show it to you so I don't have to attach it. But yesterday or 2 days ago, we got a sell off right down to the moving averages. So that's a type 2 convergence. And so what am I doing? I'm buying. I was buying when I came out with the recommendation because our reward to risk was really favorable. Yes, and here's how it looks after today, after the last couple updates. So we're back above our resistance line, and it puts this big pattern in play. This is huge. So again, I like it. We got our stop at 242. Reward to risk still really favorable. And it's up on the day. What was it up today? It was up. It was up. Today, I think it was up. Hold on one second. Sorry about this. It is up. it was up about 1.25% as of the filming of this. So this looks great. XLK. So this is the one I shorted. First, I was long. Remember, we had these on the intraday chart. We had a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we went long here. We sold after a 7% gain here, and then a day later, I went short, and I'm underwater. So, um, so what am I underwater? I'm probably underwater like 6 or 7 points. So I'm probably maybe underwater 4 or 5%. And this looks bearish to me. You know, we had a gap up like an exhaustion gap. And it looks if we close here, we'd have what you call a shooting star, a doji star actually, where prices started the day out there, tried to go up, then went down, and looks like it's going to end right around where it began with a gap up. So I'm adding to that. You know, am I going crazy with it and adding, shorting the market and getting rid of everything else? No. I said, I'd probably do a 5% position on something like this when I went bearish. So maybe I add 1 or 2% and try to claw my money back. We're getting overbought here. So and this was the inverse fund of the QQQ. If you didn't want to short actually XMK. So this is an inverse ETF. You buy it like you buy a stock. And when technology goes down, this would go up. So on the day that I initiated, this was where I would initiate it. And now we're way down here. So, it wasn't a great move, but all is not lost yet. We did have a bearish rainbow convergence, so we'll see if we get some sort of retracement back there. And so I actually did XLK, but it doesn't matter. You can do either one of these, and you buy a little bit more here, maybe buy 1% more, 2% more. Silver looks great, up 3.5% today. Here's where we initiated on the 9th. So again, this is going up very nicely and all looks good there. The price projection it would be a new high. I'm looking for this move to exceed the prior high over here. And we got our stop at 62.5 for now. Brazil has been on fire. I think it's up a little bit today, not a ton. But this just had a huge move. We went bullish on 12th on December 13th at $32. We're at or yeah, $32. We're at 27 now. Uh, the price projection is got the print is small is 51 and we're at 38. Well, no, we're at like 42. I'm sorry, we're at 42.28. So what I don't like about this at this point is see we got a higher high here, and on our RSI we got a lower high. Now that could correct itself if it skyrockets higher, but right now that is flashing a caution sign. Beware, a change of trend is coming, and we're what 8 or 9 points away, which is a big percentage move. But I'm going to have to look at this over the weekend. I may go to a neutral, but haven't decided that yet. Anyway, it's going great. Um, we went bullish, we went neutral, we went bullish again, and here we are. Okay, so this is the iShares Commodity Index. This is really weighted towards energy, 70% in energy. So with oil down 12% at one point today, this got crushed. This was here's where we initially bought, way down here. God, those numbers are small. I must be getting old. Um, we bought way down on uh, that was August 31st at 22, and we went neutral on March 30th at 32. I think it was up like 47, 43%, 47%. and then it corrected some, and I went bullish, and now it is down a little bit from there, but I'm okay. I think we're still going to have some sort of consolidation here. You can see on this peak here, we had a higher high on our relative strength index. So we don't have a negative divergence here. I'd like to see one more higher high and a lower high here, and then that would tell me to be done with this. But for now, I am adding to this. I'm adding incrementally to it, So that is what I'm doing currently with GSG. The other reason why I'm adding to it, if you look at oil, crude oil, here's the big gap down. This is OILK. This doesn't issue a K1. I like it in taxable accounts. And you can see this was down at one point, probably down close to 6%. It's trying to bounce back. And, to me, I think we're still in this trading range here. And we have a bearish rainbow convergence. So I expect to see this come back up and retest that. And if it does, and oil and energy are 70% of GSG that I just showed you, that should be a bounce in that security. So this is not a recommendation on oil. I'm just showing you kind of why I would add to GSG at these levels. Platinum looks good. We bought it on April 7th at 177.82, and we're now at 192.38. So it's had a nice move, and I expect more. I'm looking for a new higher high here. Remember, I want to say it was actually on April 7th when I did the video for YouTube, and I said, time to buy the metals, and it sure has been, as silver and platinum and uranium and all kinds of things have been up. So that has been a good call. Basically, it was saying transition some of your money from oil to metals and overweight the metals. So I thought that was a pretty timely call, and here we are. Uh, this is this is when we initiated. So it's had a nice move since then. Thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Technical analysis. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, neighbors, family. Have a great weekend. I probably will be initiating with something that I don't want to talk about yet. Adios.